going to be running the Light of Xaryxis. Whatever this adventure is, I've not read through it yet. This is kind of my first experience with it, so we'll be seeing what it looks like and what adaptations we're going to make it a more palatable experience as a viewer. This is what it looks like. I do everything on Roll20, so we're just going to continue doing that. Let's see what we got going on here. This Dungeons and Dragons adventure begins in a world of your choosing. Great. Ventures into wild space in the Astral Sea. Navigate these environments aboard ships that can traverse vast distances using a magical form of travel known as spelljamming. Right. Okay, so I need to read the Astral Adventurer's Guide. Contains information about the settings and how spelljamming works. The adventurer assumes characters have no prior experience with spelljamming. Yeah, that's good. Great. Fantastic. Awesome. Love that. I don't. I have zero experience with this. The adventure summary is: this story revolves around the characters' efforts to save their home world from an attack by an empire of astral elves. The attack is underway when the adventure begins. After taking refuge aboard a spelljamming vessel, the characters head for stars to discover who's responsible for the attack. And how they can save the world. Okay. Encounter many space-dwelling creatures, becoming companions, some of them. Ooh, a princess. Princess Zedali. Ooh. Ooh. She looks spooky. I love it. Chaos in Doom Space. Gee, whoa. Yeah, Astral Elves, dude, their eyes are wild. They're very spook. Very spook. I like it. Okay. Ooh. And her twin brother, Prince Zeleth. Also spook. I like his weird hair fringe. Yo, this is him? Damn, riding an astral dragon. That's pretty cool. All right. Asteroid city known as the Rock of Bral. Whoa. That's cool. Can I not? Enhance. Oh, there's no handout for that? What? Oh. I'll have to make one. Because that's kind of upsetting. I wonder what it looks like if I open a new tab. Okay, cool. It does give me the full size. Yeah, we'd make that a handout for sure. That's a very cool little floating asteroid with freaking fins on it. Cool. Xaryxis. The light of Xaryxis has nourished the Xaryxian Empire for millennia, serving as a wellspring of the magic power of the astral elves of Xaryx space, used to sustain their empire. 1,000 years ago, the star's light began to fade, threatening the elves' prosperity, so Emperor Zavan turned the dying star into a parasite that leeches life from worlds using crystal seeds harvested from the star. Wow, okay. Sure, yes. After the elves select a suitable host, world ships known as star moths release hundreds of astral seeds into the planet's atmosphere. Star moths. Huh. Sharing the love is this was something I learned recently. You know when you drag an image into Roll20 and it appears as a square in the map, this has purpose as it stands? What do you mean? Seeds fall from the sky, bear themselves in the ground and oceans of the world. As the astral seeds take root, they produce enormous crystalline vines. The tendrils of these vines extend deep into the world, draw life energy from it. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Once astral seeds are taken root, there's no easy way to stop the transformation. Cool. The adventure structure, the reason I want to run this is from this sentence right here. This adventure has 4 parts, each divided into 3 chapters. Each chapter is designed to be run as a single play experience lasting 2 to 3 hours. Perfect. Perfect. Should be able to complete the adventure in 12 sessions of play. Perfect. Love that. That's great. You click it, then Control Z or Shift Z. Yeah, you do that with tokens, which is fine, but like it has to be on the tabletop. Yeah. That means the picture has to be on the tabletop. I'm talking about like a picture that doesn't have this like zoom in option from a handout. You know what I mean? Like, that's fine. When it's a token, sure, we zoom in on it. Great. Part 1, Seeds of Destruction, chronicles the devastation wrought by the astral seeds in the character's homeworld. Parties escape into wild space. After fleeing, seek out Commodore Crux. Oh, we love a GIF. Oh, look at him. I'm in love. Look at this thick boy. And his cool-ass parrot and his guns. It's great. He's got a nice little floppy hat. Can help them thwart the Xaryxian Empire's machinations, save the character's world in the process. Deals with the character's journey to the edge of the wild space system where they encounter their princess. Characters head for Doom Space, where Crux plans to join a coalition of those that oppose the Xaryxian Empire. Begins with the party's arrival in Doom Space, where the coalition they intended to join turns out to be a bunch of quarreling factions. Find a way to unite them. Great. Saviors of the Multiverse. Describes Xaryx Space and the character's climactic encounter with Prince Zelith, the armada under his command. Characters arrive at the Imperial Citadel, where they discover the true cost of saving the world and must decide the fate of Xaryxis and the Xaryxian Empire. Great. So, what we're going to be doing is trying to cut this down a little bit when we start doing actual prep for this. Because I need this to hit roughly 10 sessions of about 3 hours, making the assumption that about an hour of every session is devoted to RP. I understand that reading a lot of this stuff is probably going to be pretty difficult for people that are like watching this later or looking at this on a screen. That's fine. Obviously, you know, I don't want you to run this adventure by watching this video. You probably have this book at home, or some semblance of a digital tabletop space for you to take a look at here. So, God, I love the art in this is very nice. Things that we're going to have to add, though, however, apparently ship-to-ship combat is a bit lackluster, but fortunately, we have plenty of resources to enhance that and make it better. So that's what we'll do when we run our game as well. Adventure inspiration, starting characters, character creation. Okay, so how do they want us to start this? Spacefaring races are common on your world. You can add backgrounds and the races from the Astral Adventurers Guide. Yep, we definitely want to do that. We're going to want to feature as much as we can from the books themselves so people get to play something new. Decide what is available in your players and what isn't. If during the adventure a player was to create a new character, they can roll up a new one the same level as the rest of the adventuring party. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Create 5th level characters for this adventure at the start, that's crazy. Like, this is a 5th level adventure start, which is great. Love that. Fantastic. Normal starting equipment plus 625 gold to spend on additional non-magical gear. If you're running high magic, each character gains 1 uncommon. We're going to be doing this for sure. At level 5, they each should have 1 anyways. So that's what we're going to do. So this is a 5th to 8th level campaign. This seems short and sweet, honestly, which is hopeful. I like that. I hope it's actually short and sweet, you know? Where do we begin? Coastal city or port town on a world where the characters are either seeking their fortunes or resting between adventures. We could do like Waterdeep. The initial setting doesn't have much effect on how the adventure will play out. Character's homeworld serves mainly to set the stakes for the story. It's in danger of being destroyed. Or we can just make up one, I guess. Use a world your players are familiar with. Publish campaign setting or a world of your own creation. If you use Lost Mines as a starter or Dragon of Icespire, the Essentials kit, then Light of Xaryxis begins in the same region featured in those introductory adventures, the Sword Coast. Hell yeah. We love that. The reason I would use Waterdeep is because I have so much experience in running Waterdeep campaigns that I am very familiar with it. So like, that's probably where I would start, just because. So, but then we end up at the Rock of Bral anyway, so it doesn't really, you know, we're gonna end up somewhere else pretty soon. Okay, cool. So in the chapter 1, Astral Reign, so this will be at whatever city they are in. Some nonsense begins happening. Characters are going about their daily business in a bustling coastal settlement, where everyone is talking about spectacular meteor showers that have blazed through the sky the past several nights. In fact, what folks have witnessed are showers of astral seeds falling from space and plunging deep into the ground. Cool. Adventure begins when enormous crystalline vines erupt beneath the streets, throwing the community into chaos. The crystalline vines are 50 feet wide at the base, rise 1,000 feet into the air, and are still growing. Made of an iridescent mineral that is impervious to the character's spells and weapons. A character who makes a successful nature check determines the substance is a type of living crystal. Okay. No astral blights congregate near there. Oh, there'd be like vine blights. They're like vine blights, but different. But astral. But space. They're vine blights, but space. Perfect. Love that. The vinyls grows wider, pushing the dirt and debris. Cool. Okay, great. That's where we start. They're having a day. Description of the astral blights. When you are beginning, ready to play, your adventures have taken you to a coastal community. Local fishing boats share the harbor. Okay, you're finishing your midday meal while listening to a blacksmith tell you about being awakened last night by a loud crash. According to the smith, a crystalline vine burst out of the ground and punched a hole through the roof of his neighbor's bakery. Must be divine punishment for the bad pies and steep prices. Jesus. Excited to see you cast for this and how you run the campaign. I hope it works out. I know some people's schedules aren't fully good for this, so we're gonna see. I might have to do some recasting, but we'll find out. Cool. So stuff explodes, screams of panic. Great. Time to return to my ship. You're welcome to join me. You'd be wise to flee as well. And with that, she makes her way towards the docks. Okay. She's described later in the chapter. Obviously, I would want to describe her now, but like her. Okay. She looks like a sailor. We take that. Cool. I like the rose here. That's nice. She commands the Galleon Moon Dancer. Interesting. The ambulatory vines are 6 astral blights. They focus their attacks on nearby commoners, ignoring the characters, except any who attack them. The blight's slow speed means the characters can evade them easily. Yeah, they're very, very slow. They have several choices. Fight them. Or head to the docks. Or hole up, barricade in a building. Make it apparent there's no safe refuge in the settlement, okay? Investigate the vines. Make for the outskirts. See danger in the streets. Okay. I like, they gave multiple paths already, which is nice. So you don't really have to like do too much in like thinking about how things work here. Right? You're like, okay, there's only this many options. What are they gonna do? They're gonna fight, flee, and here's the 3 directions they can go, or investigate, right? So the possible endings, if they end up at if the character's board Moon Dancer, they go up and away. Great. If the characters don't make it, she reveals her identity and negotiates a deal with him where he takes command of Moon Dancer in exchange for delivering Travius, his gang, and their belongings to safe port. So she finds them regardless. Yeah, I mean, they got to get out somewhere, so that's fine. Okay, so this is our hook. That's great. It pulls them in. They don't get much of a choice. Can I check my DMs? Sure. Okay, so the 2 options when they go running away: danger in the streets, debris, terrified citizens, things that like try to push them towards the docks. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Emergency airlift. Cool. Easy enough. I think this is a good start. I love games that start with immediate conflict. You take that like, we found each other in a tavern kind of situation, right? Like you meet in a tavern and then you just blow up the tavern. You know? Like, why not? It's just, you create the conflict immediately, right? There's not like, oh, I met someone in the tavern and they're gonna give me a job, which is like a very stock standard way of starting things. You blow up the tavern. Now there's immediate conflict. We love that. What are we doing today? We are going over the adventure Light of Xaryxis, which is something that I will be taking and modifying for our Spelljammer campaign that we will be running starting in the middle of next month. Good way for players to be active from the get-go, and it's engaging. Exactly. I love that. Cool. So that's the first chapter. I get it. That is absolutely something that can be run in 2 to 3 hours. So that's bang on the amount of content that I would run for a singular episode, which is fantastic. Dude, I can't get over how well I like this being broken up. It makes me happy. Nabo, what's up? So, attack of the Star Moth, driven from the coastal settlement. The characters are secured passage on the Moon Dancer, a galleon under the command of Elena Sartell. The ship is then rocketed into space. Cool. Now it's time for you to determine where it's situated relative to the character's homeworld. Once you determine the Rocket Bral's location in wild space, estimate how many days it will take Moon Dancer to get there. The adventure began in Toral. The Rocket Bral is one of several asteroids orbiting the planet itself. Okay. Love that. Cool. They get to finish a short rest, and then, boom, we're in it. Ooh, deck plans for the Space Galleon and Star Moth. Ooh! That's cool. Again, not a fan of not having a handout already prepped for this, but maybe there is one that I can't see yet. I love that. That's great. That's very cool looking. Ballista crew. Nice. Okay, so they don't really have like a deck plan. Cargo slots now. That's nice. Actions taken. Interesting. The sheets are different now. Okay. There should be one. Yeah. Let's see if it's just in here. I mean, there's this. That's not bad, but like, it's not this one, which is interesting. But like, I can make a handout from it. Look at this. That's a Dargan. That's so cool. TBG, what's up? So good to see someone else who actually prep while I mostly have an outline. I wing. I mean, I'm not actually I'm literally looking at this adventure for the first time and getting ideas of how I want to run this. So this is day one, session one of DM prepping Light of Xaryxis here, right? I'm getting a feel for how the game is going to run, how I am going to run it, and what we're going to do. So this is very much a loose outline at the moment, right? Moth and space go so well together. Yeah, they're great. So this is the Space Galleon, mainstay of the host of vessels that ply wild space in the Astral Sea. Yeah, and the more and more I look at this, I'm like, yep, we're definitely starting in Waterdeep, for sure. So that'll be good. Set a course for Rocket Bral. We know it's going to take a couple of hours. Great, perfect. Astral Blights. Nope, that's chapter 1. Sorry, let me go ahead and minimize that. Boop. Aboard Moon Dancer. Oh, good. Nice. Hey, this is great. This is what I was looking for. An actual map of the Galleon. Now, do we have... Oh, we do. Oh, we do. There we go. Okay. We actually have deck plans for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 ships. I have deck plans for 22 ships. Okay. That is a lot. That's a lot of deck plans. All right. Love that. What does the Rocket Bral streets look like? Really? This is what you... Oh, that. Okay. All right. You know what? You gave me 22 ships. 22 fucking deck plans. Great. Love that. Ooh, Rocket Bral map, though. Wait. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is good. Love this. This shit makes me happy. Yes. Okay. Space map. Ship-to-ship combat space map. Okay, cool. There's some stuff I want to do with this, and I'm going to talk to our graphic designer about making some moving maps. For sure. Doom Space. All right, I'm getting distracted from the adventure at hand here. But I am looking at pretty things. Air. Oh, so there's an air envelope here. Okay. I think I knew about that. The Tyrant ship is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Beholder quarters? Oh. Okay. All right, I gotta stop. Let's go back to this. So, you know, space galleon, stuff like that. Let's see. So there's an attack here. We are aboard the Moon Dancer. Okay. Lots of crystalline vines erupting from the surface of the world. Great. Only 2 members of Moon Dancer's crew are aboard. The spell-jamming Flumph, Flapjack the Flumph. Stop! Come on, look at him! I fucking love Flapjack. Look at Flapjack. What a king. What a king. What a guy. He's amazing. Moon Dancer is armed with 2 ballista but has no crew. The mangonel was destroyed. Getting new mangonel is the reason Sartell was on the party's homeward, since wood is much easier to find than Rock of Bral. Okay, Flapjack the Flumph. His additional action options. Nice. These are the features of the Moon Dancer. Great, perfect. Love that for us. Don't really need that then. For the moment. When elves attack. The Dark Star. Okay, cool. Hey, there's the moth. It just isn't called the moth. That's a great shot for that. So that's cool. We'll take that. If they attack, rocks fall. You know that all the casts that I would have would be very down with the Captain Flumph. They're gonna be into it. Ship slows as another vessel comes into view, approaching the Moon Dancer from astern. Pursuing vessel looks like a giant moth with wings. Cool. Astral elves. Curses Captain Sartell. They don't look friendly. Yeah, of course. It's crewed by 3 Astral Elf warriors. The captain, the lieutenant, and the lieutenant. All right. As well as Astral Elf Star Priest. Hey, yo. This man's beautiful. Fucking goddamn. Rules on ship-to-ship combat. So this is what everyone was complaining about forever ago. A month ago when this was released. Initiative, moving and steering, boarding, crashing. Shipboard weapons. Spelljamming ship typically has 1 or more shipboard weapons, ballista and mangonels. They're slow to load and fire. Player characters are almost always better off using their own weapons and spells in ship-to-ship combat, reserving shipboard weapons for targets that are too far away. Okay. Great. A Spelljammer can use the ship's Spelljamming helm to move and steer the ship without expending their own action. On their turn, Spelljammer determines how far the ship moves. Okay. Ship can be turned and reoriented so all its weapons can fire at any target within range, regardless of where they're situated on the deck. Sick. Love that. Start of engagement, decide how far it is. 250, 500, 1,000 feet. 3 possibilities provided. Shorter distance, less time crews have to load weapons, make other prep. Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, they went with the simplicity option, which isn't bad. You can make more complex ship-to-ship combat stuff. They have a lot of ship-to-ship combat rules in various other releases. This is definitely the simplest option. I don't see a problem with this. But I can understand why people are a bit, you know, not happy with the ship-to-ship combat stuff. The thing that I would do is just pull the rules from Saltmarsh. Just pull the rules from Saltmarsh and have it apply on a 3D space. You know what I mean? It's hard to have a 3D space like on a 2D plane, right? Like it's hard to see that. So we're gonna just kind of treat it as not 3D. But you understand, right? Like you have to keep things simple enough to make the board game work. But like if you're looking for like a ship-to-ship war game, this isn't it. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll pull some rules from Saltmarsh, which I don't think is going to be that much of an issue, because most of the stuff is the same. You know, the crashing thing, the ramming and crashing is kind of like, it's interesting that this is the largest paragraph out of all of it. Avernus is a good shout for those who've had that too. Yes. Yeah. Utilizing the Avernus rules too. I modified those for simplicity. I made it significantly easier to do those kinds of things just because it was like, it gets complex and it really slows down the game. I don't mind this. I think for running a show, I probably am not going to change much of this. And maybe that'll like piss some people off, but like, you know, the shows are about pacing. And we can't get like bogged down into 6 hours of ship-to-ship combat and stuff, you know what I mean? So I don't mind the simplicity of it. I think there's probably a lot more they could have done, which, you know, we could say that about a lot of books that Wizards of the Coast writes. But I don't think this is a problem. This will function for the things they have written. I don't know. I don't have much issue with that. Don't have much issue. Starmoth is the faster ship. Moondancer has no hope of outrunning. Estimates the character is about a minute to prepare before Starmoth gets close enough to use its mangonel at long range. Orders the ship to turn about and close the Astral Elves as quickly as possible to minimize the Dark Star's opportunity to fire. Great. Minute or two for the ships to come within boarding distance. So ships are close enough. 3 Astral Elf warriors board. Okay. Faces hidden behind visors. And haughtily demand Captain Sartel's surrender. Okay. You'll make your space ship-to-ship combat simple and not realistic? I can't believe it. I know. There are, if you want like more, this is Magic space. If you want science-based like ship-to-ship combat stuff, play Starfinder. Go play Starfinder or something else, you know? There are other tabletop games that do this better. If you want 5e complex ship-to-ship combat, pick up. It is a third-party book. I'm gonna go grab it. Give me 2 seconds. Pick up Dark Matter. This is a 5e supplement for space and guns and lasers and like laser ship-to-ship combat stuff. Like this Dark Matter. It also has an adventure in it, which is actually, it's pretty good. Play this. Like that's my suggestion for that. Or use, and what I'll probably do is I'm going to use a combination of this, the rules in this, the rules in Saltmarsh and Avernus to just make a conglomeration of what would be simplistic, good, well-paced ship-to-ship combat. Works for me, man. Demand wacky space race. I don't know if it's going to be wacky, but like, it'll be simple. I made a joke comment, and Joel comes up with a book I never knew existed, and now I'm interested. We ran a bit of the campaign from that for a little bit of time. Then there were some issues with the company that had sponsored us to run that particular game, and the person of contact that we had, that person no longer works for the company, so I'm fully okay advertising their stuff now. Why am I so nice? I do what I can. I mean, so like, this is the thing. There are solutions here. The thing is, I know people wanted, like, God, what they wanted was a $60 source book. And what they got is $60, and it's 3 books. There's the adventure and the source book and the monsters, right? So I get some of the frustration on that, but like an actual source book for that price, People don't understand what it takes to actually write these things. Wizards of the Coast just has such a stranglehold on the industry that they set the pricing for TTRPG books. They, like, because they set the standard at $60, right? Every other company has to basically hit that mark or they won't sell anything, which is really tough because these books cost significantly more than the like $60 to make it, but Wizards can produce at such a high capacity and make so much money that they don't have to worry about it. So they set the price, which is that's why there's some issues with like what they put out. It's technically $60 worth of stuff for sure, and people are really mad about that. I don't know. Wacky Space Race, so like Hanna-Barbera Wacky Space Race. So TBG, were you here when we did we're gonna play Crash Kobolds for a charity event on October 1st. Chat and I, they helped me come up with Crash Kobolds, which is gonna be a 5e version of Crash Pandas. Instead of just using the one-sheeter Crash Pandas, we're gonna make it an adaptation and basically play wacky races. So it'll be fun. Back to this stuff here though. I think ship-to-ship combat-wise, you can absolutely spice it up relatively easily, and you can give people more things to do. I think one of the best additions to, like, a magical, like, space battle thing that this book has, that Dark Matter has, is basically a spellcasting station. And it amplifies spellcasters, spells to make them quote-unquote mega spells, which probably can't be used in this because this game and like hit points and stuff aren't going to be balanced for that. But it's super cool. It's very cool, and you can have like your fireballs dealing like hundreds of damage. And it's very neat. And it gives spellcasters like a real cool thing to do while on the ship. So you can fireball an entire ship. Exactly. You can fireball multiple ships. You can fireball a lot of things. Yeah. It's fucking sick. Anyways. So they're gonna board. Great. They're gonna fight. They're gonna question the Astral Elves and the Haduzis. I didn't ask how big the ship was. I said I cast Fireball. Hey, Kayla. What's going on? Exactly. But it's my favorite thing from the Dark Matter book is like mega spells. It's pretty cool. So eventually they're going to... If the Astral Elves are defeated and Travis and his thugs are alive, they will take... They try to take the galleon by force? I'm gonna... Do we need this guy? That's just 2 combats back to back, and that sounds like a lot of time that I don't really care about. Do I want to do that? Assuming the characters repel the Astral Elves, Moondancer resumes his journey. Astral Elves have something to do with the calamity befalling them. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. We're gonna go talk to Commodore Crux when we get there. Enough time passes for the characters to take a long rest. When they're not resting, they're assigned miscellaneous chores. Great. They're gonna just like do some stuff. And basically we're gonna utilize that time to RP some shipboard things and them like learning how to sail the ship, right? Because that's something they're gonna need to learn how to do for the rest of the adventure. We're not gonna spend much time on that. They can ask more questions about space. Cool. Among them, a friendly solar dragon and some not-so-friendly space clowns. God. Flapjack explains the subtleties of astral navigation. They have spellcasters, takes the opportunity to instruct them on the rudiments of spell jamming. I like that they have Flapjack in this, meaning that, like, hey, if they don't have any spellcasters in the party, you can still play. He's just gonna do the thing for you. Love that. Great. Mind flayers. What are we doing here? Ship slows unexpectedly around you. Colossal chunks of rock float in the void. Plenty of places for pirates to hide. A vessel lurking behind a nearby asteroid comes into view. Its enormous spiral shell merges with an open bow, long tentacles. Ah. Mind flayers. Fuck yeah. I love nautiloids. That's cool. All right, so it ends with like that's great. Chapter 2 ends. Yeah, dude. Okay, these are so far, because like that combat is about an hour, right? Maybe an hour and a half with some of the shipboard stuff. Get some RP on the ship, right? It's gonna be about like 2.5, 3 hours. It's like perfectly timed. I love that. When I grow up, I want to be a space clown. Me too, Nabo. That'd be great. Getting Baldur's Gate 3 vibes, only because they have nautiloids. Which can't wait for Baldur's Gate 3 to release. That'd be great. Okay, so part 1 ends with... The characters escaped the endangered world with help of Captain Sartell, Moondancer, and ran afoul of an Astral ship. After surviving the first wild space encounter, the characters resumed their voyage to the Rock of Bral. Along the way, they made a terrifying discovery, a mind flayer ship lurking among some asteroids. What first appeared to be a dangerous mind flayer ship turns out to be a derelict vessel. Okay. Turns up a single member of the pirate crew. In fact, the survivor is a Sirloin Ringer, a horrific predator disguised as a human. Ayo. Oh, look at his butthole mouth. Oh, this makes me uncomfortable. His mouth do this. Is that the disguise? No. Imagine. The Lucent Edict. All right, so one of my biggest gripes about a lot of the maps in some recent releases is no coloration. No artistic rendering. It's just very utilitarian. And I am not a fan. Fortunately, there are so many options of art pieces that I am going to make use of, specifically for nautiloid ships, to like make something that looks cool. Too much work? I understand that, but when you're trying to put on a show, you want something that like looks good. This is very simple. It's very basic. It's not bad. It's just basic. And I love how much information is on it and things of that nature, but I want more. If you want a nautiloid map at some point, you could try to put something together on Dungeon Craft. So I've got some options already. We're going to take a little foray into my purchases here. As you can see, I have a lot. Obviously, this doesn't end down here. It goes all the way down to X. But, yeah, I've spent thousands of dollars on shit for this. So I do have some things that I could utilize already. I believe I have one for... Right, so this is like where I got all the maps for Avernus and stuff too. Right? Like, we had actual art maps instead of nothing. Which was one of my biggest gripes about Avernus as well. So I should have nautiloid battleship battle maps. Boom. I got them. We're just going to take some of these, repurpose them for our needs. Ship packs. There we are. I've got a bunch of just regular ships, right? That we can just use. Like all of these decks and stuff. Like there's our galleon. Great. We got it. So like these are the map things I'd use for boarding and stuff like that. Obviously without the ocean things because we have the plane, plane things. And these all come with like ballistas and things like that too. So like it's not a big deal to make these into something that are a little bit better. Now, things that are going to be like outside of that are like Wasp ship and flying the Hammerhead ship and the Lamprey ship and stuff like that. It's like, fuck. Times like these, I wish that I had money. Because like, this would be so cool if it was actually something. Like, the art is great. It's just, like, I wish it had color and detail. It's one of my bigger gripes about recent maps and stuff in, because, like, look how cool this is. Look at this. This is great. And it probably took someone a whole lot of time to make this. Right? But it's so cool. And then you, like, look at the rest of the stuff, you're like, fuck, it's not, I mean, it's nothing. It's just black and white. And it's just kind of boring. So if you're going to put all the effort into one of these things, like, man, maybe make everything that good. Anyways, that's just me griping. Regardless, the end of the chapter there, we end up taking a look at some salvage, it looks like. A Mind Flayer ship. So it gives us the Lucent Edict. Right? Benoto Kralazar is the Sirlon Ringer, right? So he's the dude in disguise. Awesome. He lures people on there and then attacks. Great. So what's the point of this? Captain's chair. A headless Mind Flayer corpse. Nice. Spell jamming helm, the bridge floor observation platform, mess hall, cargo hold, cell block. So what's the point? What is the point of this? The raiders that made an abortive salvage attempt against the Lucent Edict didn't go far. Waiting to see if the characters board the Nautiloid. Once they leave and return the ship, they spring the trap. Oh. A night spider. Hey, yo! That's terrifying. Is there not a handout for a night spider either? Like, do I have to make this one too? Yo, that's terrifying looking. So we launch into another combat, I guess. So when does, he tries to split the party where other Sirlons lie in wait, suggesting the remaining characters stay behind. Okay, so an easy way to shorten something is, like, we ignore the Neogi Raiders. Like, it doesn't matter. It's always night in space. It is. Like, if we don't have time for this, right? Like, what does this start with? They aren't forced to deal with the new problem until the arrival of a naval patrol. Great. Okay, cool. So they don't have to do anything. Ah, easy. I was like, man, this is going to get really long if they're, like, exploring this entire place and then have to fight these people. That's going to go over that 3-hour mark. Nope. Doesn't matter. Okay, cool.